With its famous boulevards, historic buildings, and elegant atmosphere, Paris is a city that the world often associates with romance. But there are also people here looking for something else, romance from another time. They want to return to an age when simply getting somewhere was an adventure, a time when Paris was the departure point for the world's most famous train, the Orient Express.
Good morning. How are you?
This tourist is checking in to board the train once known as the Train of Kings and the King of Trains. In every detail, including the beautiful decor, the Orient Express evokes the elegant images of a golden age. When it began operating at the turn of the 20th century, the train carried members of Europe's royal families and rich business leaders from Paris to Constantinople, or Istanbul as the Turkish city is now called. These days, this luxurious train makes the journey once a year, and it's a 6-day journey some wait a lifetime to take.
What I really wanted to get out of the Orient Express was the feeling of stepping into a time machine. The idea that I could go back to a bygone era, not just any time, but a time before I was even born, and experience what it would have been like.
For most of the 85 passengers on this run, the pampering and luxury of this famous voyage are a once-in-a-lifetime treat.
It has many meanings for us. My wife had her 60th birthday in June, and our 25th wedding anniversary was the 20th of August.
Everyone aboard the train seems to share a common desire to somehow recapture a lost age.
There's a huge fascination for the train, and then, of course, Agatha Christie wrote that famous book, Murder on the Orient Express, which that has also, helped so much to make it such a famous name.
After World War II, airlines and the rise of the Iron Curtain between the East and West made this type of luxury travel by train impractical. Therefore, the Orient Express suspended its service until 1997, when the route between Paris and Istanbul was restarted. For many people, the attraction of the journey is irresistible.
I've always been a lover of travel and always in search of particularly exotic and unusual travel venues. The history, the terrain that we are traveling, it's soaked with the blood of saints and warriors and visionaries. And for me, as a teacher and as a writer, it's really pretty inspiring.
As it winds through the magnificent scenery of the Alps, the Orient Express crosses countryside that consistently displays its finest. The passengers on the train are expected to do no less. Dinner is a formal affair with all that entails. It all adds to the sense that the trip is more than just a train ride. It's a trip where the journey itself is the destination. The idea isn't really to simply arrive somewhere, it's to have an incredible experience along the way.
It has been a dream for a long time to participate in this little bit of history. It's hard to imagine a more extraordinary and romantic sort of journey than travel from Paris to Istanbul on the Orient Express.
While the morning mist hangs over the sleepy fields of Europe, the world's most famous train comes alive. As the Orient Express rolls across eastern Austria, window shades are opened, surfaces are shined, and breakfast is served. The work on the train has been done by an army of well-trained staff for years, and working on a legend has its rewards.
Because it's a wonderful hotel on wheels.
The staff of the Orient Express knows all about providing first-class service. Most of them have also worked in Europe's finest hotels and restaurants.
Working in a train is very different because you have the scenery which is always changing. In an operational way, it's also very different from working in a hotel. So you have to be very well organized.
There are certainly challenges unique to running a 5-star hotel on wheels. These days, the 6-day journey through 7 countries happens only once every 12 months, but planning for it takes the entire year.
We move all the time. The train is not a new train. It wasn't built yesterday, as you know. And then we have a limited stock of everything, so we have to try to make it last.
And it's not easy. Instead, in a hotel, if you're missing something, you just go down to the canteen and get it. It's a bit different on the train.
In addition to the annual Paris to Istanbul run, the Orient Express has offered a regular seasonal service between Venice and London for over 20 years. Still, each trip is a learning experience, including learning to stay on your feet while creating world-class cuisine.
It's very difficult because you get to see it's move now. For me, it's very difficult because we have a small kitchen and moving.
It is, but we're used to it, especially working out on the tables. The movement is sort of, it keeps you busy, it keeps you very concentrated actually. It's relaxing sometimes.
The secret is to make it all look effortless.
Without being presumptuous, it has been my main objective through those 20 years to keep the highest possible level of service on what is, after all, a train.
At various stops along the route, food is loaded onto the train, from fresh fruit to fresh fish. The kitchens are completely restocked within minutes to keep the train right on track. In each country, the Orient Express takes on a new locomotive engine and engineer in order to ensure passengers' safety and that the train runs smoothly. The rest of the staff stays the same throughout the journey, and often throughout the years.
I've been on the Orient Express for 13 years now.
15 years on board. 15 years. I work here.
Once someone starts working aboard the Orient Express, it's often difficult to consider doing anything else.
It's unique, it is. When you go into a train station, the people outside are looking at the train, and you can think that, you can sort of imagine they're thinking how much I'd like to be on that train. And you're on it, I mean, you're working on it, which is even better. I mean, it's something very special.
The people who travel and work on the Orient Express have a window seat view of Europe passing before their eyes and a close-up of a bygone era surrounding them. When it comes to romance and adventure while traveling in style, none of the modern travel options of today can come close to a ride on the Orient Express.